Hello everyone, my name is Vivek Patkal. I am founder and director of Edu-master Tutoring Services. I am very glad to let you all know that we have started an interview series. This series is very special as we are going to host some very bright tutorpreneurs who have done it very big in this tutoring industry. So our today's guest of honor is a very innovative, creative, unique, amazing, a team leader, a coach, my mentor, persistence, an extremely hardworking and talented personality, Joanne Kaminsky. I welcome you, Joanne, to our interview series. Will you please
Oh,
introduce?
thank you.
Will you please introduce? Will you please introduce yourself to our audience?
Absolutely. And I'm excited to be here. Woo! I love this. This is so exciting, you guys. I absolutely love, I have two pieces of my business. I am a reading tutor and I teach kids that are struggling with reading, but then I also help tutors like Vivek be able to get the results that they want in their tutoring business. So this is just an exciting time for me to be here and just share in the joy and the love of this new series.
Yeah, and to be in fact, all I would like to tell all the audience that I have gathered the courage to be on camera and speak something like this because of Joanne, and she has been extremely helpful in uh, gathering means making us as a tutor come forward and give their best out, like what is going to happen from the 2 years of my tutoring business. I never on my camera. I was like hiding behind the webcam and all. So after joining her program, it was all that changed for me. So will you please tell us about your journey from where you started and where are you now, Joanne?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was a classroom teacher for 10 years in the school system. And my first year of teaching was chaotic. I accepted a job at a school that was 30% of our kids were reading on grade level. That means 70% were not reading on grade level. It was the first year the school had been in existence. So it had a long journey to take itself as a school. And most of us that were working there were all brand new teachers. And so it was really crazy. We were not, a lot of us had culture shock as we came into the school because a lot of the kids just came from a different socioeconomic area than what we were used to. They would fight, they would throw things, they would, it was just not, it wasn't something that I had grown up with. And it was very shocking for me to see see kids acting the way that these kids would act. And after my first year of teaching, in my second year, I began to actually learn how to do some classroom management stuff, and and then things got a lot easier for me. Like when I really learned like how to develop relationships with kids and be able to, really develop those relationships, I felt like now I could actually teach. It wasn't about being a disciplinarian. It was about really creating relationships with my students. And that's something that I have brought into the work that I do today, that it's not just about the teaching that I do with you, but the relationship that I develop with my students and with other tutors as well. It's a big, huge piece of it. And my second year of teaching, the principal of my school realized that I love teaching reading and asked if I would be interested in teaching other teachers how to teach reading. And I was like, yeah, I would love to do that. So I went for, I had to actually like audition in order to be able to get this like role and be able to do it. And they hired me at the end of that weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, like I did it.
Yay.
I was so excited. I got to, so not only did I get to like teach my own third grade and fourth grade students, I also got to teach teachers how to teach the reading program, which I thought was like incredible and amazing. The year after that, so it's only my third year of teaching, right? The year after that, they asked me to teach, to train the trainers of the program. So I like really was moving up the levels very, very quickly in the school system. And there's not that many levels to begin with, but I was moving up those levels. And that year I became pregnant. and everything began to change. So I had my brand new baby girl, and I knew that I couldn't keep this hectic schedule because I was traveling all over the country and teaching my students. And now I'm like, bring a baby into this. It just didn't feel right. And so I told the principal that I was looking for another job, that I wouldn't be able to continue at this pace. And she actually offered me the reading curriculum coordinator position. And I had asked her, well, can I choose my own hours? And she's like, sure. So I created my own hours. I'm like, okay, well, this could work. So I ended up working less hours during the day. I was able to push my day starting a little bit earlier so that I could have some really great evening time with my baby and be a mama. And so that was great. I stayed at that school for another 5 years. And we had our principal change, just big changes happened. And, I think the biggest thing for me was that I could learn as much as I wanted to about reading, but I really couldn't make a huge impact on the school because every year we had a 50% teacher turnover. And so I was like, oh my gosh, so every year I'm having to start over from square one with 50% of the staff. And it's not even the same 50% of the staff, right? Maybe somebody last 1 year, maybe another person it was 2 years, maybe another person was 3 years. It was just absolutely crazy. I'm like, I don't know how to solve this problem. And I am a problem solver. So if there's a problem, I come up with a solution. I will not like mess around. Here I just like felt like at a loss, like I don't know what to do with this. And so I went to another school thinking, well, maybe things will be better at this next school. We always have to try out, the grass is always greener on the other side. And it was worse. So this time around, I had 90% of the kids reading on grade level, but all of there was this very low, this low ability of the teachers to really work together. And a lot of them were trying to compete against each other. They weren't all about sharing information and helping each other grow as teachers. And it was just really, really frustrating for me. And I ended up getting sick that year. And I was in and out of the hospital. And I had no idea what I was going to do. Here I am, I'm getting home. I now have 3 kids by this point. And I've got these 3 little girls. I have this pain in my side. And every day I wake up, the pain's getting worse and worse and worse. And I was in and out of the hospital trying to figure out what it was, couldn't figure it out. Probably stress related, I'm gonna guess, because we still never found out what it was actually caused from. And I decided at the end of the year, I need to take care of my health. I need to leave the school system. And so I did. I left, and my husband was freaking out because we had a lot of bills to pay. We had 3 little girls. We had, a house to pay off. We were building a pool at the time. And it was a really bad timing to make a decision, but I knew for my health that I had to do it. And I had no idea what I was going to do. So for the next year, I actually tried out 5 other businesses, failed at every single one of them. And through that process, I learned a lot about actually running a business. And then all of a sudden I was just laying in bed and I was like, I could tutor online. Like, why not try doing online tutoring? And I'm like, I've heard about online schools, but I don't know if there's actually people doing online tutoring. And I started researching it. And I realized pretty quickly that I didn't want to work for another company because the companies were paying tutors very small amounts of money. I mean, it was not going to make a dent in our bills. So I knew that tutoring for a company couldn't work, but what if I could figure out a way to get my own clients? Would that work? And I honestly had no idea if even the whole online tutoring thing would work. This was back in 2010. I had no idea if when I shared my screen, kids would be able to read what was on the screen. So I would have my husband over in another room and I'd be over here and be like, so can you see the words okay? As I'm sharing the screen and he's like, yeah, I can see the words. I'm like, all right. And so then I'm like, you know what? Let me now take on a student that I can practice this with. My sister-in-law's son, my nephew, was really struggling at that point in time. They lived in another state. And I reached out to her and I said, so I'm going to try this new thing. Like, I'm going to try to be an online tutor and start my own business and all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, I know that you had mentioned that Ryan was struggling with reading, and I'd love it to be able to help him out. And it won't cost you anything. This is me really seeing, like, does this work? Can I do what I do in person online? And she's like, oh, so my kid's going to be like a guinea pig. And I was like, okay, I am offering you something really awesome for free. Like, and she was fighting me tooth and nail. She's like, I don't know if we have a computer that's going to work. What if he breaks our computer? She had like all of these objections about why I shouldn't. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, is this how hard it's going to be able to work with people? And that was like my first experience with even letting people know. And as I began working with him, I'm like, holy cow, like, this really works. Like, I can really do this. I proved to myself that I could do it, that I had the resources at the tip of my fingers that I needed to be able to do what I wanted. So I began advertising my tutoring business and my tutoring services. And as soon as I started advertising, the people that were hiring me began spreading the word about my business as well. And it was just amazing from there. And now I have systems and pieces in place to be able to close the gap a full year with 8 to 12 hours of instruction, a full year. Like, that's like unheard of in the school system. So I'm really excited about what I get to do. And I'm so glad that I kind of get to do this alongside other tutors as well, like from all over the world. And we get to be able to collaborate and help each other out. And I just love everything that I get to do on a daily basis.
Oh, it's a very long and inspiring journey, Joanne. People say that whatever happens for the good. And as you are teaching or mentoring the tutors now, basically you are instilling your qualities in all the children who we are also teaching right now. Means if a person wants to live forever, I think teaching and mentoring is the best possible way, because immortality, I don't know it exists or not, but the work you're doing right now, it is certainly immortal, because it, even if a thing we learn from you, we surely pass it on to the children who are learning from us. So it's a very noble task that you are doing. And it was actually very exciting journey of my life when I was under your coaching. So uh, what was your thinking process when you started your tutoring journey?
My thinking process was like, I had no idea how to market myself. I I had some prior experience with some of the other businesses that I failed at, and so that's where I started. So I created flyers and I started creating signs to let people know that I was out there. And I was scared to do a lot of the things that I needed to do. I was scared to like take action, but I knew that if I wanted to grow this, that was what was going to make the difference, was me learning how to market myself and then putting myself out there and doing it. It wasn't like I couldn't just learn information and then not do anything with that information. So everything that I learned, I then started trying. And it didn't matter if I was scared or not. I had to do it scared and get out of myself. And I love that I did that for myself, because I am very much an introverted person. Like, that's why online tutoring is such a good fit for
That's
me.
very hard to believe. That's very
I
hard
know,
to
right?
believe.
I know. I know. Hey, I just because I'm outgoing and I have a personality doesn't mean I can't be introverted.
That's absolutely true. So, can you please let us know that what are the stakes if a person wants to enter tutorpreneurship? What is all that you keep on stakes? Like, how did you convince yourself that okay, I'm just going to leave everything and I'm going to continue the tutorpreneurship? Because this word is taken from your program only. The tutors who are entrepreneurs are tutorpreneurs. So, what were the stakes for you, and what difficulties did you
Yeah.
face?
Yeah. So I would say the biggest one was I didn't leave the teaching world knowing that I was going to go back to teaching. So, I mean, the stakes for leaving the school system, I mean, at first I thought they were going to be really big things. Like I wouldn't have health insurance anymore because I was working for the school system. Um, I wouldn't have any kind of like retirement funding that would be in place for me. Um, that and just that constant, like, what if I fail? That just kind of goes through your head, like, well, what if I fail? And it's like, you know what? I'd rather fail trying than not try at all. So we're going to just keep doing this. And for me, things are just inevitable. Like, no, you're not going to fail. You know what? You may gain more clarity,
Mm-hmm.
but you're not going to fail. Like, you're not going to fail forever. Like, failure is a part of learning. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I've really had to come to a new understanding of what failure means. Like, failure doesn't mean that I'm going to be on the side of the street homeless. Failure means that, I may learn something and do it wrong, but then through that mistake, I'm going to learn how to do it right. And so now I've just made failure as a part of it. Like, I give myself grace if I make mistakes. Mistakes don't mean failure. Mistakes mean that I get to learn from that. And I think that's a really huge piece of like the mental game for me, that I had to leave behind, that it was okay to fail. It's okay to fail, but it is not okay not to try and give it your all. And so every single day it was okay, what am I doing today to be able to build this? Whereas before, like, I got paid for my time, right? Well,
Mm-hmm.
now I had to put in a whole bunch of actions that I was not getting paid for. Every single action I took, it was like, okay, so this is for future payment, right? Like, this is to get that client that I may or may not get, right? Like, there's just that fear that I'm not really going to be able to build this thing and be able to get as many students as I want. That's always, like, I think, our beginning thoughts. But then we get that opportunity to see other people who've done it, right? And then we see them, we're like, but if they can do it, I can too. And so I think that's really important. That's why I love the series that you put together, because people need to realize that, look, if there are people who've traveled this path before you, that means it can be done. That's the
Yeah.
exciting thing. Like, you can take all of those thoughts that you had that you can't do this, you can take those thoughts and you can say goodbye to them, because they've already been proven. Do you know what happened to the first person who was able to beat the 5-minute mile? Nobody was able to ever like do this 5-minute mile. Nobody, not one person. People tried, failed. And then one day a guy did it. And guess what happened soon after that?
Many
Other
guys.
people started beating that 5-minute mile. It was the thought process that nobody can do it and therefore it can't be done that held people back. They didn't even know they had that thought. They just knew that nobody else had done it. As soon as they realized that somebody else could do it, other people were then able to do it. And that's what it's all about with us in our businesses too.
Actually, agreeing with your point, in in our tech call, Max once said a very beautiful line, which Jennifer and I was means discussing in the last interview we had. Max said that we always fail forward. The
Mm-hmm.
failure what we are going to face, we are always going to fail forward. Means it's not going back. We are just going in the front direction. And my
Mm-hmm.
main motive of starting this entrepreneurship series is because people don't usually talk about this industry much. Like
Mm-hmm.
they say we don't know, it is uncertain. Because I am currently facing that. I am pretty pretty young right now and just started my tutoring journey. Even my own parents tell me no, don't go for it. Because I am an aeronautical engineer. I just completed my engineering before 3 years, and I thought that just before 2 years I got a first client. So the girl did wonders within a time period of around, I was having 2.5 months time. So here in India, we have a marking system, like from 80 marks, she was scoring somewhat around 40 marks, 80 to 40. So that girl did wonders in just 2.5 months. She worked very hard.
Mm.
I was the guiding. I was the guiding force with her there. She literally scored 74 out of 80.
Oh my gosh, that's
That was just
awesome.
almost doubling her score. And those parents were so happy with the result. And I got so much satisfaction after seeing their faces. They were like thanking me everything every time I visited their house or nearby areas. So they were like supported me so much. Like now, at that time it was like if anyone just says whisper something, tutor, they'll just shout Vivek. Anyone wants tutor, they'll shout Vivek. I got a lot of
Oh.
leads from that. And after that I just thought, okay, everything is going okay in my career as well. As a aero modeling trainer I was working, we have trained around, I trained 3000 kids the previous year before COVID for aero modeling. So I thought, okay, this is also a career option. And but this tutoring as a part time was giving me more rewards than my actual career, what I have studied for a long time. I invested my lot of time. So I just thought, ki, why not switch it off to this? Like I am facing currently resistance from last 1 year that you should not do this, you should not do this. It's not a good field to be in. You don't know, you have kids now, you will have it in the next year or not. I said, it's a business. If we give, students will continue till we keep on giving good service. Now I do have some fourth, uh, I have a fourth grader from US right now. So I just told myself that, okay, if I am giving him good service, he will continue till 10th grade with me only.
Mhm.
So it's only about me giving good service to them. 6 years
Yes.
already, business is already fixed. And it's not about only tutoring, it's in every business and every job. It only works till we are performing good there. If we don't perform
Yeah.
good there, the person who is not involved, we don't know him, he also comes and fires us from that place. So I just want to make people understand that this is a very rewarding field. And
Yeah.
you should.
And more lucrative. My husband is an engineer,
Mhm.
and I've doubled his income.
Yeah.
So,
It's let,
it used to be that I
yes.
would never, ever meet what his income was when I was in the teaching world.
Mhm.
And now I've doubled his income. And my goal this year is to triple his income.
People usually don't talk because the first thing, Joanne, when the COVID hit, I saw your video. I was just searching like how to get students online or how to tutor online. So the first video which I saw of you, you were openly telling about everything that all the people hesitate to tell in the tutoring industry. Nobody wants to tell their secret, because I have a few tutoring, those who are already tutorpreneurs doing good, but they don't reveal these things. I don't know why and what not they have in their mind. What do they get by hiding it? It's not like that I am going to go and take their children for my tutoring and all. So
Right.
the feeling of competition they have more, they don't reveal such things. It should be revealed so that people come into this field. Because I personally feel that our generation now, it's gone, but we can make the humankind and the humanity more good by teaching the next generation how good things can happen. So my main
Mhm.
motive of entering the tutoring and the teaching field is that some or the other day, it's a very long investment, like around we have to wait for the 8 years, maybe the child takes 10 years to do something in his life, but it actually is worth it. I
Yeah.
want to be very influential person in 15 years. After 15 years, I want my child everywhere. Like anyone says NASA, someone is there. Anyone says ISRO, means the Indian Space Agency, someone is there. uh, Scientists, engineers, doctors. So I just want to be very influential, because there are a lot
Mm.
of things that I personally want to do in the education field. So just connecting with this, Joanne, what are your future plans? I would like to know. Like now you are a solopreneur. What are your future plans? Would you like to go with a team, or how is it going to work out?
I love helping my kids with reading. And so that's always going to be a piece of the pie for me. So we talk about lots of different income opportunities, right? That we don't have to just say that tutoring is all of it, that it's all of the income, but it's always going to be a piece of it for me. And then from there, being continuing to be able to help tutors and building those relationships and grow and learn how to run their business properly so that they can focus more of their time working with their students and less of the time working on their business is always going to be a piece of it, just because I love supporting this community. And so right now I have a book that's going to be coming on out called Clubhouse Social Media. It's a new social media app that is only available on iPhone at this point in time, but it will be available on Android in the next couple of months. They have an Android developer, so it's going to be the biggest, social media tool that's out there. So promoting that. And I also just love to be able to create courses with other tutors that are really putting on out. They want to be able to share their ideas with other teachers and tutors, and I help them be able to do that. And working with people, obviously one-on-one. So that's going to be a big piece of it. I see myself being able to travel a lot. I don't know where my kids are going to end up. They're heading off to college soon. And yeah, so at this point in time, it's just continuing to bring in those additional income streams so that when I do, if I ever decide that I want to retire, the money is there. It's not, I don't even need that 401k that I would have had if I stayed in the school system, right? I'll have continual income streams that are just coming on in that will be fueling that ability to be able to retire if I choose to. I don't have to choose to. Like, that's the coolest part. I can work as long as I want to work. Nobody can
Yep.
take it away from me.
Yep. That's the means a very good perk. Whenever we have some plans, automatic plan comes, we can just say to the kids, okay, today I have some work. We can just schedule it. Whereas in contrast to the school system and other work, we have to take a permission from the sir. Then he will
Mhm.
say, why do you want to leave right now? Then we have to explain him. Then he will say, I'll have to talk to the senior management. Then senior management goes to the principal. Then after that, we get a leave. That is well deserved. Like we have been teaching like around 100 or thousands of kids till now. And for taking a leave for ourselves, for our personal issues, we have to struggle like 3 layers of management we have to go through for a single day leave. So it's
I
a very
know,
good
right?
perk. Yeah. And
Yeah, and
as
here
you
you get to
said,
choose
yes.
where you want to go. Actually, I'm next week I'm heading to Zion National Park, and we're going to go exploring Zion for an entire week. And all of my students, because I have them pay monthly, they're still getting their 4 sessions. There just happens to be an extra week at the end of like March into April that flow into each other. That within the month they get an extra session. So instead of getting an extra session, I'm taking the week off and
That's
just
great.
gonna go to Vegas and go to Zion National Park and rent an RV and have fun with my family.
Oh, that's actually very great, Joanne. I would like to invite you to India as well. Please do visit
I
India.
would love to go to India. It is so on my bucket list. I have so many people to see when I go there.
Yeah.
It excites me. It excites me. Now, where in India are you?
I'm from Bangalore. It's the Silicon Valley of India.
Uh-huh.
So it's like many US companies are based in Bangalore here only.
Okay, got it. I'm putting it down.
Yeah, put it down and please come down.
I
Please come
love
here. Yep.
it.
And one more thing, Joanne, how do you think is the importance of a good team while you are working, or if someone like I am personally having a team of 7 tutors, 7 people working with me right now. So, what do you think is the importance of a good team for taking the business to a new height?
I think, for some people, I think it's definitely a natural next step. And so there are going to be people, there's 2 different tutors, right? There are tutors that just want to have like their own students. They don't really want to manage a team. And I think that that's great. Like, that is a great model. That's the model that I've kind of have fallen into. But I've also worked with a team now that I have coaches and I have that, and being able to work with that team is amazing because they'll raise their hand to do things that helps kind of take some of the stress off of the business. And so I think that's really, really helpful. So for people that are like, I don't want to just have my own students, I want to grow this even bigger, I think having a team is a great next step to be able to do, because then when you have students, you can now start taking a look at, okay, who's going to be the best fit for this particular student. We weren't meant to work with every single student ourselves. And this way you can really take that child into consideration and see who will be the best fit for them and what's their background knowledge and all of that great stuff. But I think it's definitely a path that many tutors dream and aspire to be able to take. And then it comes down to, how much of their time do they want to spend running that part of their business, or do they want to hire somebody else to take part of that? There are so many choices that are involved at that point, but it's definitely one of those steps that you can take to be able to grow your business.
Yeah. I am actually personally looking to, currently I'm working like 30 to 40 hours, and I'm thinking to hire more tutors, and whatever the
Mhm.
students are coming, so just pass them on to this teacher, because my team is very highly qualified. Like uh, I don't know the students accept me in the first demo itself, but my teachers or my team tutors, they are extremely highly qualified. And I hope that, why not, if it's like, it's all about empowering the kid, the student, it's
Mhm.
all about empowering him, why not give him the best? It's like
Mhm.
not taking, like, initially what I was doing is I would tutor chemistry, I would tutor physics, I would tutor maths,
Right.
I would tutor biology. And if someone says English, I will give a thought also. "Oh, why not?" I thought, "Oh, why?" After the jumpstart program, I was like confused. Oh, okay. I should focus on what I love the most. So
Right.
I just narrowed down on like elementary maths, elementary and middle school maths. So that is what, if anyone asks me anytime, even if they wake me up in the night and ask me, okay, Vivek, what is the answer to this? I can at least fight there. It's not that I can uh,
Right.
give the correct answer. I can manage and I can fight till the end. It won't be a sorrowful experience in the end of that question. So that is what
Right.
I chose.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome. It makes a really big difference. And it's different too, like as you start thinking about like running your own business versus having tutors underneath you. Like when you're running your own business, you have to have a niche, right? Like you want to be the expert that people are going to for that specific thing, versus somebody who's like okay in some areas, right? Like, and maybe you hire now people on your team that can be able to help, in those areas that were weaknesses for you, right? If you want to make sure that you have like a company that is able to serve all kids for all needs, that you have tutors now that fill in those gaps that really can make a difference for those kids and take them to the next level, versus just being an okay tutor. Now they're getting their money's worth, right?
Yes. I had a question for you. Now, as I'm planning to start a referral program for the tutors from the US specially, so what do you think is the correct referral amount that should be given the tutor who is referring their client to us? What do you think is the
You
correct
know,
percentage?
I actually work on a different model. Okay. So I don't work on a paid referral model process. I work on if I have a student that's not a right fit for me, then I am going to pass them on off. But that's a little bit different than your model, because you're looking to then have other tutors underneath you, right?
Yes.
Um, it's going to be all over the place of what's acceptable. And so I tell people, like, you got to really listen to your heart on this one, like what feels good, whether it's an Amazon gift card, whether it's just a thank you so much card. There's lots of different things that you can do in order to say thank you. Some people aren't going to want money for, passing on a student, because they think that you're the best fit for that student. And they're like, no, you don't have to do that. And then you can still send them something if you want to, but even just sending a thank you card to them is fine. There's like some people would be like, well, $50 would be the going rate, or $100 or $25 or $5. Like the money is going to be all over the place. And at the end of the day, most tutors don't really care about that. They really care about referring the right person. So I'm not sure that they're going to be, I don't know how many people are going to be motivated by money so much as knowing that they are referring the best tutor. So I really don't know how to answer the question in a better way, but I really do think that it comes more down to not what are you giving me, but what are you going to be able to give that child that I'm referring you to,
The
like
child will
what
get the
services.
best. The child will get the best tutor. It's not like it's like I will be personally taking care when the demo will be going on. We'll be giving 2 to 3 free sessions. If the child is not happy with the teacher, with the tutor, we can just provide another tutor at the same time. It will be completely free of cost, 1 session or 2 sessions. We can have it free of cost from the tutors, so to check
Yeah.
whether it is a good fit or not. So I was thinking that uh, if suppose some tutors are there, those who want to make a secondary source of income. So if they want to make a secondary source of income, so I will just provide them like 5% or the 10% of every hour which the child is learning on our platform. So do you think this model is feasible? Because I'm this model is going on in my mind right now, because I actually want to get students from US, and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
very rewarding. That
I would say I would spend more time on building relationships with the tutors from the US versus, because as soon as you start throwing money on into the whole mix, it messes the relationship up big time. And I don't know specifically why that is, but you'll have people saying, you're not paying me what you said you're going to pay me, like arguments start to happen, and then relationships start to like pull away. So I would say just continue developing great relationships. But if you feel like that's a model, find out from other tutors if they'd be interested in that model. Feel free to, put your thoughts inside the ultimate support group and say, is this something that would be motivating for you? In the future. I mean, not asking them specifically to move forward with that model inside of that group, because it's a completely, free group from any kind of pitches and that kind of stuff. But just to say, hey, is this a model that you think could work? What are your thoughts about it? But I have just found that when I've even done like affiliates and that kind of stuff, because that's really what it is, it's them being an affiliate
Mhm.
for your tutoring business. I've had people that had one conversation while I was in the middle of conversations with a student. And then they said, oh, well, because that student went forward, that they should get the affiliate money, even though they never use like the affiliate link.
Oh.
And now we are now in a very uncomfortable position, because like the one person that I was working with them one-on-one, like I've been coaching them for the last 2 months. You had one conversation and they
Mhm.
didn't use your affiliate link. And so now I'm, by having the conversation, I could be having a difficult time with that person, right? Like they were very understanding. I was very lucky, but it was still really uncomfortable when now you have to have that money conversation
Mhm.
in the whole mix of it. They're like, well, I really should get this, and you're not being, you're not being right. And I don't know,
Yeah.
it just kind of messes up the formula,
Yep.
like money and friends they don't mix very well.
Yep. That's completely correct. I will just try getting all the views on the ultimate support group as well. So, we all do mistakes in the tutorpreneurship journey. So, are there any mistakes that you regret in this journey of your tutoring? Are there any mistakes?
Um, yeah, I've made a ton of mistakes. I don't regret any of the mistakes because they helped me gain clarity in my business. But I would say like some of the mistakes I made were, when I first started creating content and videos, everything was really dark in my basement because that's where I do all my tutoring. Mistakes. Sometimes I would post things without actually like reading them forward and backwards, making sure that there weren't any errors. And so you always want to make sure that you're coming off as very professional when you're creating content. And sometimes we're just creating things really, really fast on the fly. And then we push publish, but it's like, we don't realize like this is published. Like everybody can actually see this. This isn't just like published in your little world. This is published for the world. So those kinds of things happen. And I think there's always going to be mistakes that are, there's not a day that doesn't go by where mistakes aren't happening. I've even had a mistake. Like I thought that a student was in like the wrong grade. So like in my mind, they were in 5th grade, but they were actually in 8th grade, because online you can't really tell. And when you have so many students that you're working with, so it's like, you always got to be like, you have to have like that great data next to you. So you remember, okay, this is so-and-so, here's how old they are, what grade, just those little recaps to kind of help you so that you remember who you're working with, when you're working with them, and what are you specifically working on so that you can reach those goals with them. But I would say there's mistakes happening on my side, I feel like every day. And it's like, you just take a look at that and you learn. You're like, okay, so what do I do with that? I had somebody who said that they found like a link of mine that gave like a reduced price on one of my programs. And I was like, no, that hasn't existed for a really long time. And it was a video I created like 4 years ago that they found. I'm like, you know what? If you can share with me where the video is, I'll honor the discount so that I could take it off, right? Like I'll honor it, but I'm going to take it off. So there's like little mistakes that are constantly being made, but nothing I regret, because if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning, you're not growing.
That's I can't tell you, I am having goosebumps on my body right now. It's so inspiring talking to you. uh, this question, actually, I just wanted to ask you, because I feel it a lot of time. Did you ever feel like giving up in
Oh
this
my
journey?
gosh, yes. 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 I remember it was like probably 3 years in. So I'd already been booked solid a couple of times, but because the journey is such a roller coaster journey, you have more students and then you have less students. I just remember sitting there like in year 3 and just being like, it would be so much easier to go back to the school system where my students are all just given to me and I just do my job. Like
Yeah.
it would be so much easier. I wouldn't have to do all this content creation. I wouldn't have to be getting myself out there, advertising my services, all that kind of stuff. It would just, and then like, it was like a brief moment, because after that it was like, are you kidding me? You did not just say that. You seriously did not just say that. No, like, no, you are never going back to the school system ever, ever, with a capital E, ever, never, ever. And, but yeah, I could definitely relate to it, because there are just times where you've got more students and then you've got less students. And yeah, it just seemed like in the beginning. And what I didn't realize was the most amazing part of the journey hadn't come yet. And that is where so many people know that you exist, that you can't take them all and you have to give them to other people to be able to work with. And so I just continue to bless other people with those students. And I absolutely don't regret being able to continue to build relationships with other tutors that I can gift in that way.
Actually, the students and the tutors who you have trained are actually blessed to have you as their mentor and coach. It's not like that means I keep on talking like this because you were the light, the ray of light when nothing was actually there. When I was tutoring on means in person, suddenly COVID hit and I had nowhere to go. Like someone and going to online was a very difficult task. I never thought in my life that I will be going online and all. So I just saw your videos, then it was very much related content was there. So slowly I actually wanted to join the previous jumpstart only, but due to some issues I was not able to join. I think I emailed you as well. And you're so kind enough, you emailed me back. I felt happy. Oh, she emailed me. Oh my god, my day.
Yes, I actually respond to my email. It might not be within 24. I do try to answer my email within 24 hours. It doesn't always happen, but I try.
So Joanne, how difficult is scaling up this business according to you?
You know, it depends on what scaling up is for you, right? And so I think that's really going to be what's different. Like scaling up, is that going to be you getting enough students to be able to work and sustain, your own income? I don't feel like that's hard. I think that any tutor could do that within 1 or 2 years. Now that we have systems and processes in place for online to make it a lot easier. If you want to be able to, build having additional tutors working underneath you, I don't think that is going to be too difficult now that you have a flow of students that would be coming on in, right? Like, so now people are starting to learn more that you exist and that you are there. I think we can really tap on into all of the amazing things online to be able to get the word out there about what we do. We no longer have to just worry about our zip code and the people that live within driving distance of that zip code. We literally can tap out to the entire world. And so you are only limited by your own thoughts, and you're definitely not limited by what's absolutely out there.
Yep. And we are not limited at all. You're sitting on the other part of the globe. There it is day, and here it is night.
I
So,
know, right?
so
Anything is possible.
anything is possible. This jumpstart program made me believe, yeah, it is possible. So, what is one advice that you'd like to give young tutor means young tutorpreneurs or who wish have a deep feeling in their mind that they want to continue or join this journey? What would you like to advise them?
Don't do it alone. Tutoring can be such a lonely business, and the relationships that you're going to be able to meet when you connect with other tutors is going to be so powerful. So look at all the opportunities that are available for you to connect with all the other tutors that are out there. I mean, we now have Clubhouse, we have our own club. It's called Tutor Talk. There's the Ultimate Support Group on Facebook that we have. There's smaller groups. If you're looking to like network with smaller groups, there's paid groups of people that are really on into this. Don't be scared to invest in your business, because that's what it is. It's a business, right? It's not a hobby. Don't be scared to invest in your business. I know people that actually will invest more in their hobbies than in a business. And that's wrong thinking. We need to invest in our business. Get the knowledge that you need so that you can do the work that you love.
Yep, that's actually a very great advice, and I would suggest like many young tutorpreneur to enter this tutoring field because it is really very rewarding at the end of the day. And
Mhm.
people tell like food industry is very big, there are other industries, okay, but even if we see the food industry will be giving us the profit margin of around 30 to 50% of the service provided, here it is at least 80% of the work we do.
Yeah, well, and that's what they actually were doing that in the US as well.
Mhm.
They were paying the tutor $10-15 an hour, and then they were giving them 3 students, and the business was making $150 an hour to $200 an hour, and only paying the tutor $10 or $15 an hour. So yeah, those things were happening here in the US too, and it's just not right.
Yeah, oh my God. Just yesterday night, I had a lady call me from US after all the marketing. Now I have been all my pamphlets, all means whichever buy sell trade group is there in US, I have around joined around hundreds of them. So a lady called me from US and she was like, I would like to hire you for tutoring. Would you like to join the network? I said, yeah, why not? So I asked her what are the terms and conditions or what would you like me to do there. Then she asked me what are the charges. I said it will be at least $30 an hour for
Mhm.
means I'm just starting out low right now. So for middle schooler it will be 30 and elementary it will be around $25 an hour. So she said that, oh, your charges are so much. Do you know about a company called Growing Star? They are charging $20. I said they are a huge company, and if you want me to train or tutor, first I would suggest that you go with a demo. Let the student and me have an interaction first, and then the student himself will decide Then she said that, okay, I have my kids, would you like to give a demo to them? I said, look, you only said that you have a lot of tutors who are coming for $5 or $6. Is there any chance that I actually am not that much free that I'll be giving a free demo? So is there any chance that I have an opportunity to tutor your kids? Because you already have the tutors. If there is an opportunity of me going forward, then I am interested to give the demo. Then she gained her senses. Oh, you're talking correct, Vivek. Then you can give me a then she said, utter nonsense is talk. Then you can give me a demo. I said, ma'am, look, if a parent would have the qualities to judge a tutor, they would have tutored their children themselves. Why are they hiring tutors from outside? Why do they need help from outside? The parent, he has not, means the parent hasn't had touch with the elementary education from 25 years, and they will judge the tutor by seeing the demo. The student will not take the demo, the parent wants the demo. I directly rejected them. Whereas in contrast, if I was not the part of Jumpstart program, I would have happily accepted it and gone with it, like however it was. But I had the
Yeah.
courage. I said, no, it won't work out. She was saying $10. I said, $10 I charge here in India, and if I have to work in US, I have to wake in late nights and all. So it's not going to work out. She said that you have a team, you can just give it to them. I said, look, ma'am, I love my team the most. It's because of them the business is going on. It's not because of
Mhm.
me the business is running. They work, so the business is running. So she said, yeah, yeah, you're talking very much sense, and I'll surely get back to you when I have a good student or somewhat like that. I said, yeah, welcome, always welcome. So people, they have very different expectations. Now they will be charging around $50 or $60 or at least $100. They want the tutor to work for $15 or $10, which doesn't make sense at all.
It's the how low can you go game, and everybody will try to play it, and I don't play it. So I actually stay away from all conversations about money until the very end, so that we are really dealing with what's important. Is this going to be a good fit, right? Will I be able to help your child? So I really think like having those always having a question available really helps with driving the conversation. Whenever there's like a gap, or some people will just try to communicate via text, you don't have that ability so much as to be able to do that. So you want to get them onto like a Zoom call as soon as possible. I feel like, you know, getting them onto that call and then having a consultation versus trying to do a consultation via messenger or those kinds of things is always going to end up getting you better results, because they're going to see that you're legit, you know what you're talking about. And if you're like, so tell me more about what your child is struggling with, if I was to wave a magic wand over your child and they were able to do anything, what's one thing you would like them to be able to do? What's one thing you'd like them to be able to get better at? And asking those kinds of questions really helps to help them see that they do need this, and that you know what you're doing. So listening more, talking less is absolutely huge. Always having a question in your back pocket to ask them next until you're ready to ask them that final question, which is, are you ready to get started? And then they say, yeah, I'm ready. Great. Let's come up with a date and time that's going to work for you to be able to get started. 90% of the time, they don't even ask me how much I charge.
Oh, actually, the questions and the conversation which you have taught us in the group, I have been successfully. I actually read them before. I know, if I know that I have a
That's awesome.
yeah 11:30 conversation is there with the parent, I just go. The file is saved on my laptop right now. I just go. I go through all the questions, and really I have had around 10 conversations. Out of the 10 conversations, 9 have been successful.
That's
The one the
awesome.
one that was not successful because they were having some extraordinary expectations. They were saying like, you have to teach, you have to tutor 3 subjects. I said, no, it's not going to happen. So I was the one that rejected them. And with the
Yeah,
all
good for
sales
you. That's
conversation,
awesome.
yeah, and all the sales conversation, it actually helps a lot being in your group. So Before taking your leave, Joanne, if the students or any parent want to contact you or if they want to learn from you, can you please let them know that how they can contact you? I will add the information in the description of the link, the video as well. Can you please tell us all
Yeah.
about it?
Absolutely. So if you're looking for reading tutoring, it's theonlinereadingtutor.com. And if you're looking for help with being able to grow your online tutoring business, it's onlinetutorcoach.com.
Yep. And I would like to tell all the audience that she is the best mentor and the coach I have actually made in this
Mm.
tutoring industry. So please take the advantage. It's actually for a limited amount period of time because we don't. I actually don't know what you'll do next.
Oh,
As you told that year after year you just went on climbing the stairs in the school system. So I can't
yes.
guarantee anyone that what you're going to do in the next year. So it's
You never
actually a,
know. You never
yeah,
know.
we never know. And I would suggest everyone to take the opportunity for learning from Joanne. And it was a really very nice conversation and meeting with you, Joanne, after a long time. I guess long time is like I
I
have been missing
know.
the jump start from a month. It has been a month only, but I have been missing the classes and all, like part of my routine or my journey. I feel somewhat detached now. It's
Oh, we got to get you in the insiders then. You got to come on into the insiders.
I will be there. I'm just I'm just working out with few things because I had to settle down some things here. So that is the reason I'm just waiting, because I actually want to be in the Insider Secrets Club, and I want to be in that beautiful and wonderful community there, because they keeps us inspiring every time. Because I
Mhm.
feel low, we can say around like out of 7 days I feel low for 6 days. It's
Yes.
only one day when I get a student's call I feel happy.
Well, it was wonderful getting to hang out with you today and
Yeah.
chat with you, Vivek.
Yep. Thank you so much, Joanne. And I'll just put all the your website and the email ID in the link so that people can contact you for learning from you for sure. So thank you so much, Joanne, for being
You are
here.
welcome.
It was really very knowledgeable journey for me. Thank you so much.